So thank you so much for coming out on this rainy Paris day for our New Games Outside edition. So we did a New Games event at the Gamelier a while back, but it was inside, and so we weren't able to play that many games because a lot of them involve running around. So I thought it'd be cool to schedule one where we're outside. So we'll do what we can. Thank you very much for the props. So this is the New Games books that they had written back in the 60s and 70s.
Yes.
So it's a counterculture movement, kind of along with all the other things of like anti-war and changing the relationships between people. And they basically had the idea that that sports were too constraining. Like you couldn't, sports were only for people who were very, very good at playing, and they had very rigid rules, and you had to respect them all. And what was more important is being better than the other person. And they, yeah. So they're like, no, that's not right. We need to do something that physical games are fun, and we can do, let's have fun with games. So they started going back to children's games and coming up with ideas for making new games. That's why they call them new games. But a lot of them are actually old games from around the world that involve just kind of reinventing them and just having fun. So a lot of it involved new objects. So back in the day, in the 60s, this was very new.
Can you do a demonstration of how that works, please?
Of what, Frisbee?
Yeah, but behind you, because like that I have the feel of you.
Don't shoot the camera.
Okay.
And they had not this ball, but a different kind of ball that was much heavier. That was an army ball. And they had parachutes and all sorts of crazy stuff. And they decided to make new games with those things. And what else do I want to say? And so what makes these games really different is that they're not about winning. So usually you can't win. There's no points. Sometimes there's teams, but if there's teams, you just change teams all the time. Like if you get tagged and you're out, instead of being out, you just join the other team. There's no referees. There's no one telling you that you did the wrong thing. And in general, you're allowed to break the rules and change the rules whenever you want. So the way the games are written in the book is just like a few lines, like try this and try this and try this. There's not like the official version you have to respect. And it's open to everybody. So they put on a bunch of really cool festivals where anyone could make up their own games and play them. They did a lot of stuff in physical education in the U.S. So like when I was a kid growing up, we did a lot of playing with parachutes and playing with big red balls. And I didn't know, but it actually came from that time. And unfortunately, it kind of ended around the 1980s. Kind of petered out the movement, except for what's left around by their books, by their games, and by this excellent guy named Bernie de Koven, who's graded lots of really, really good books, a lot of kind of about the philosophy of playing games well. And so I thought today let's try some out. All right,
Yes.
Thank you.